Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the only podcast produced by three two-time winners of IMSA's Spirit of the Race Award. You're tuned into the Check Engine podcast. We are hosted on Spotify and streamed worldwide on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Happy 2024. We are kicking off what is this, season 7 already? Andrew,
Oh,
Tristan,
damn.
what is
Yep.
going on? Like, how are we still doing this?
That's insane. I really don't know. And especially as we get busier and busier. But speaking of all of your favorite podcasting platforms, have you guys noticed there are basically none left? The other day I was listening to some other podcast, a bigger one, like a mainline NFL podcast, and there was an ad in the middle of the podcast for the fact that Google Podcasts, they're just closing that. They're like, don't need that kind of traffic. So it's basically iTunes, Spotify, and RSS feed. Like,
RSS feed feeding into YouTube. YouTube is huge by
okay.
numbers, which everybody, friends, listeners, neighbors, we're there. We are entering YouTube podcasts, so
Hey,
our channel will have static video podcast episodes shortly. I've got to go through the approval process for each one.
woof.
Oh,
Just on my end, not on their end. That's all automated, but I have to say yes, I want to post this. So,
I
got
see.
it. Okay.
but all the episodes are uploaded to YouTube and ready to go, and we'll be posting the back library there. And episodes coming up will now be on YouTube's.
That actually makes the Google move make all the sense in the world if that's true. But no, that was a surprise to me that Google would do that. Okay.
Well, that's good. That's good. Maybe we should actually start like screen recording too, so we can have videos with our podcast now that we're going to YouTube.
Now that I have anything anybody would want to see, I could do that.
Yeah, there you go.
But hey,
Shockingly orange wall behind me.
well, that's our colors. We got
It
to fly
is.
the colors. We're not a podcasting podcast. We
We're not
are
meta.
a car podcast. So, in case you don't remember, everybody, now that we're going into season 7, we are a car podcast. So, anybody off the jump have any sort of interesting car news? It's been a while since we've done just an open style episode. We had a get together with some more karters, some more friends of mine from the karting scene in December, but it's been a long time since we've actually dove into some car stuff. So, does anybody have a topic to kick us off?
I would immediately like to poop upon the Tesla Cybertruck. We're late. We've had some time off. It's not original anymore. I don't care.
He was really ready. He said he was ready.
Yes.
I didn't know he was really ready.
Like
I'm ready.
Andrew,
the
he took your spot. Andrew normally
Yep.
jumps in
Well,
right
it's
away
okay.
with something.
Throwing
Let him
an
go.
elbow and
Let him
taking
go.
this.
Just cutsies right in line.
The best part about this is that all I have to do is just tell you a fact about it, and that's it.
Let's hear it.
We have no work to do. It rusts.
Does it really?
It's a stainless steel truck that rusts.
Where? Also,
Everywhere.
Hasn't it only been out for
Yes. Because
a day, maybe 2?
Yes, it is. The body panels rust, even though they are stainless steel, and it says in the manual, if it gets literally anything on it, you have to clean it like immediately, including water.
Seriously, I thought. Well,
So you can't drive it in the rain?
Without, when you get home, drying it immediately.
Or leave
Yes.
it in the dew.
Yeah, if you leave it outside, like some guy went on he parked it at the airport and came back and it was covered in rust, and you can like buff it out yourself, and that gets most of it, but like there's still little pits that are rusty, and it has to be taken to Tesla to get refinished, for which they do not have a process yet.
Oh,
Yeah. So
well,
so everybody is gonna have a rusty Cybertruck in a minute here. The only way around it is the only cool thing I've seen related to the Cybertruck, to change tech wildly for just a moment, is some guy did wrap one, and that looked pretty cool.
Well,
He
also
had a
apparently
you
they'll
know
all have to wrap them
right,
in
exactly.
stainless steel looking wrap.
And that's what you'll have to do. He wrapped it in like a matte black wrap, and
Sure.
that does look like some kind of like space age moon rover vehicle in matte black with the lights still shining out of it. Like
Right.
there's not covering that. So but like a matte black Cybertruck with the lights on, that looks pretty cool. But everyone's going to have to wrap it, otherwise it's going to be rusty.
That's
So
So that's
insane.
all wrap companies and aftermarket shops are just licking their chops right now, hoping someone in the area buys a
a
Cybertruck,
Cybertruck. Yep.
1,000%.
which you should not. If you're
Yeah, and it's
listening,
that, I mean
don't.
that's aside from all the other concerns. The flat out lie that was the range statement in the advertisement. Its inability to drive in the snow or basically off road anywhere, and the fact that it will murder your fingers.
What's the finger thing?
The pinch sensors on the frunk and everything aren't like
What
if you
are
get
they? What are they?
like uh they
Showpieces.
if you're in like if your whole hand can get in
Oh,
and you're like that far in, it'll stop. But like if you're leaning like at the base of the A pillar, let's say you like put your hand and you're gonna like look under the car,
sure.
and someone closes the trunk in the front,
Mhm.
and just a part of your finger is in that joint, it will come down and slice it off.
And
Just
just lop
Nice.
it up.
horrendous. Yeah, incredibly sharp stainless steel uh
Well, but
a big body panel just cut you
So
down.
I was gonna say,
if you're elbow deep, like you're delivering a calf, like you're good.
Yeah,
But
like you're examining a calf and might need to rotate it to get it out, then then yeah, that's then you're fine. Or
okay,
if your entire hand is like in the frunk, cool. But if you let that corner get you,
it's gonna get
dead,
you.
dead.
I mean, perhaps I'm asking the wrong question here, but okay. Say that's true. Did they not roll the panel that comes down? Is it sharpened to a pristine
Correct.
edge
It
and
is a 90-degree angle in every direction. Compared and like the most damning comparison was to um one of the competitors, the Rivian, where like they were using, everyone's favorite, they're using hot dogs as stand-ins, hot dogs and carrots for stand-ins for human fingers, and like
sure.
and the Rivian like touched the hot dog and was like, whoop, and like bounces right up, and the Cybertruck is like, screw you, I'm going through. So
Touch my
yeah,
hot dog.
don't touch my hot dog carrot fingers. Oh boy.
And episode title: 8 minutes into the season.
That's exciting. I mean, listen, sometimes in a lot of cases, you get what you ask for, and I can't think of anything more asked for than all of this for everyone who ordered a Cybertruck. This is exactly what you all deserve, make no mistake.
I don't get still how the general population keeps falling for this. Why is this car company worth so much?
I
like,
I truly have absolutely no idea.
like, shouldn't that be the question people start asking themselves?
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. There's just no reason for it to continue, or at least it doesn't seem like there is, and yet
Like that's taking my personal hate for Elmo out of this. Like, you know, just the car is bad. Like separate from anything else.
oh, Elon's we're now calling him Elmo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I've seen on the internet. I
I don't
also
know.
like it. I like it too, so
I'm not even popular on the internet, so I don't know stuff like
with the fall of Twitter, there goes Andrew.
Yeah,
that. Well,
Into the
he's
sunset.
no longer internet
Never
famous.
never to be seen on social media again.
right. Well, I mean, so that was something I was going to bring up, and if we're done shitting on the Cybertruck, perhaps we can
We can be done.
just move
Yes.
just move on to
I had to say that.
the greater issue. No, you did, and there was all a bunch of stuff I didn't know, but that was something I was actually struggling with, kind of starting the year. There's so much I don't know anymore because I absolutely refuse to use new Twitter. They removed all of the functionality from it, and I just won't use it. I don't understand why more people have not followed my obviously superior example, but by disabling the API, like apparently Elmo did.
Apparently.
Well, all the utility is now gone from the app, right? You can't view it in chronological order. You can't view it without ads. You can't view it without all of the bullshit. And I just won't participate. But at the same time, obviously, so this new system sucks for everyone. But instead of anyone doing what apparently only I do and saying, oh, I hate this, I'm just not going to do it anymore, almost all of the sort of car news and drama and race results, stuff like that, it's just more on Twitter now, and I don't understand what is wrong with everybody else. Why would you go on Twitter? Can anyone give me, unless you have to, I mean, literally, this is the Penny Arcade comic from like 10 years ago. Why would you go on Twitter if it's not for work?
I think that's part of it, is that it's for work for a lot of these people.
Mm-hmm.
But they also like build social lives there, and I don't understand. It's
Maybe
so
it's
so weird.
some kind of weird, like, not quite as bad as Stockholm syndrome, but like if you have to be there anyway, you might as well like find people that you can tolerate. I don't know.
I guess it's
I'm
just
just
a bummer.
throwing
because
stuff out there.
It's just a bummer. I have to, I guess, look harder to find a way to see some stuff that's on Twitter, because I absolutely will not engage on that website. It's appalling there. It is the worst place in the world. It's so bad. But something I did notice, and well, two things I noticed actually. Only one's related to cars. I'm assuming you guys have heard of the Super Bowl. It's a football game played annually in the United States.
It's not a large serving.
This is informative,
Vessel?
so I can use the name.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying,
good.
so I'm saying it's not okay. It is the football game. You're not
Yeah.
talking about a large vessel for soup.
or a mighty fine bird. But there were only 3 car commercials for the entire duration, and what
Correct.
2 and all right. So it's the VW one, which was sort of a car commercial, just more of a hey, remember our brand commercial.
We are a car company.
Yes, and we build,
And we've been here a while.
But at the bottom, the ID buzz was right at the end, that their
Yep.
revamp of the Westphalia. There was a BMW 5 Series commercial, electric 5 Series commercial, and there was a Kia EV9 commercial, and that was it.
Oh, there's one more. There was a Toyota one. There's a
Was there a
Tacoma
Toyota one?
That was
Yep.
actually my favorite out of all the car commercials. I know that's where
Because
we're
that
going to
was
go. But
that was Nixon my winner, but yeah.
yeah.
Which
but we'll
was the Toyota one? I don't remember.
So it's the one where everyone was in the passenger seat was grabbing what we call the oh shit handle, and it was coming up with a different name for it every single time.
The No Me Gusta handle.
The No Me
must have
Gusto
missed
handle.
that.
The whoa handle. The
I don't
what are
think
you
I saw
doing
that.
handle. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
I think it was it Tacoma?
And then
right?
so there were
Yeah.
4-ish then.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there was also a Kanye commercial. Did you guys know that?
I think I might have missed that one.
It only aired for whatever reason. It must have aired on the local gap, which is why it's like 20 seconds long. So it aired in Miami, in the Miami area, and in I think LA. And it's just like a really bizarre, like cell phone vertical video of him filming himself in a car of some description, probably a G-Wagon. Sounding really weird, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Kanye had all his teeth replaced.
That's right. He's got a new grill.
So we now have
didn't know
a
this.
whistle like this. It's so fucking weird. If you haven't seen that, look for it on YouTube. And so in that commercial, it says, oh, we spent all the money on the spot and didn't have any content for the commercial. What you're seeing, unbelievably, it's not a Instagram video. What you're seeing in that short clip is what he aired. It's just beggars belief. No, it doesn't. The man's insane.
Yeah. He's got his wife cooking breakfast in dominatrix gear,
God's sake.
costumes. Like the guy is just beyond gone.
That poor man. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Well, I think it was probably 2 Super Bowls ago at this point where.
Yeah, because last year was the crypto ball.
Right. I was just thinking, no, 2 years ago, I think it was, we talked about before the Super Bowl, Auto News ran a whole bunch of articles saying, hey, everyone else in the industry is not running car ads during the Super Bowl. Why are you? And then they've just like now 2 years later, there's just not evidence of one. No Ford commercial, truly shocking. No, GM. It's just like it's kind of weird to see, but at the same time, I don't think if I wasn't looking for it, I would have missed it at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's on one hand you think, what? Why aren't they advertising when lots are full? They're having trouble moving cars. Like, wouldn't this be a great time to advertise an awesome promo? Like
There
lower
aren't any
interest
though.
rates, or bring back your trade in any condition type of bullshit. Like nothing to try to get things moving off the lot. That just seems weird to me. Maybe all the slots were filled by the movie trailers. Movie
Ugh.
theaters are going in, and studios are going in heavy on the Super Bowl this year, or did
And
go
State
in heavy.
Farm.
And bum 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 bum.
Just awful.
No, that's
Yeah,
Farmers.
you're right. There were a lot of movie trailers. Well, okay, so let me ask you this. This is something else I was thinking about because of you mentioned the movies and what's that? The name just totally flew out of my head. The Wizard of Oz but green musical.
The Wicked.
Thank you, Wicked.
My sister would be proud.
The only thing I could think of is Witcher, which is a video game and very much not green. So
that wasn't even our soundboard. That was just Tristan.
Yeah. I mean, it literally is that though. So
the whole game is just grunting.
Do you guys think that specifically with this year, right? I mean, we kind of need a little bit of a longer runway to decide whether or not car manufacturers truly are just done with the Super Bowl. Do you guys think that the numerology of Taylor Swift changed the targeting of advertisements during the Super Bowl?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Because you guys heard that whole thing right before the bowl. Taylor Swift's favorite number is 13, and
yes, yeah,
100 minus 80, 13 is 87, blah blah blah, on and on. Tons of things with 13, and it was the whole season, right? Everyone was talking about how this was the script. Taylor Swift had to be at the Super Bowl, and obviously not because it was a conspiracy, but because genuinely Taylor Swift going to Chiefs games changed the actual demographic of people watching football, not only the Chiefs games, but everywhere else in general. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think it changed the targeting? And it's not that, car commercials can't or don't target women, but it just becomes, I think, probably less important given the fact that the demographic actually changed a little bit for the game.
I would need to go back and look at the rest of the commercial slate and see if it was any more attractive to that particular demographic than car commercials would have been.
That's a good question.
I think that would help us decide. I was not going to do that right now, but
no,
like that's, to me, that seems like if they replaced it with stuff like maybe it was the 15 Temu ads, which that's apparently how you pronounce it now.
Yeah. Yeah, Temu.
Temu, yeah.
But yeah, whatever it is, I don't care.
It's like Shamu.
Shamu.
Shamu. Yeah. We've been pronouncing Shamu wrong all these years, guys. It's Shamu.
Shamu. We put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Exactly.
But no, Andrew, that is a really poignant, I'll say, question. And I bet, I don't know how far in advance, you get to sign up for next year's Super Bowl. My guess is it's pretty early to develop, storyboard it, get your big movie star that you want in it.
Let's say hire your cameo.
All that kind of stuff, get approval for the budget. But how many folks late in the game, or maybe not even late in the game, but once they saw that, this Taylor Swift thing isn't going away, we're going back to the boardroom saying, wait a minute, if that's who's watching, this is a waste of money.
I really don't know.
That's a real, I never thought of it until you just brought it up. That's an awesome question. I don't know the answer, but homework.
Yeah, somehow figure that
maybe go try to figure that out somehow.
Yeah. It's an interesting. Anyway, I thought the Super Bowl was great. I had a grand time, but that doesn't have anything to do with cars.
What about the car commercials though? So Tristan and I already kind of let it slip. Our favorite was the Toyota one. You don't even remember the Toyota one,
I
Andrew.
don't at all. I don't.
So did you, of the ones you remember, was there anything that made you chuckle, anything that you liked, that you cared about? No?
I really like the looks of the electric Telluride, but that doesn't. I mean, it looks cool. The EV9. It doesn't look any
Yeah.
different than the mainline regular car. And to me,
Which is good.
yes,
Side note.
yeah, very true actually. But
Absolutely.
none of the commercials, I don't think they're for me. You know, I don't think VW is trying to sell to me. I don't think Kia's trying to sell to me, and there's nothing BMW could ever offer me to get me interested in their brand again. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
be very real about that.
So it was weird. It was one of those, like, this whole past week, obviously office chitter chatter at work and stuff about the Super Bowl and the commercials and all this stuff. It was a big icebreaker for meetings and all this kind of
Mhm.
stuff. And like, I had this feeling for maybe not the first time, but like the first time in a while where I'm like, man, I could be really out of touch here. Everybody loved the Christopher Walken BMW commercial. And I was,
Did
and I
not
was like,
get it.
I'm like, well, okay, it said nothing about the car that you're trying to sell. It didn't even, like, I don't even think it said the name of the car on the screen anywhere.
Not until it was only at the end and I actually pulled the name kind of off of the disclaimers at the bottom
Yeah.
for what car they were actually advertising.
And the whole,
Yeah.
I guess it's like okay for trying to bring this whole thing of people imitating Christopher Walken into an ad and
Like
cool.
that bit isn't bad. Like that's a decent joke.
But
But
wasn't that
Having
from
him
like
having him subjected to a bunch of his own impersonators. Like,
which I'm sure
okay,
he gets on a daily
I'm
basis
there.
all the
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
he's a good sport about it. Great. But like, isn't it kind of old and played out? And
I
then
was gonna say
also,
15 years ago.
yeah, and then also, are the people who are gonna buy that car, the electric Beamer, going to know? Like, I guess they know who Christopher Walken is.
That's a really good question.
Like, are there people sitting there going, "Why is everyone talking so weird?" Like,
Maybe.
but
You know,
everybody I asked, like, "Hey, what was your favorite commercial?" Like, the first thing, like, "Oh man, that BMW Christopher Walken commercial was awesome. I laughed so." I'm like, "Really? Okay, I guess."
I'm so on your side with this. I absolutely have no idea who that was for, but apparently everyone else.
Yeah, everybody but us.
Is it just us three?
Yeah.
No,
It's
my
children
dad was
who are
watching
wrong.
the Super Bowl with us, and he
Oh,
didn't
that's
get
right.
it either.
Yeah, he didn't get it either. Like, it's yeah, like the bit is, I guess, tried and true, so it's gonna get laughs just because Christopher Walken himself is so unique in his delivery and stuff. So
Mhm.
like that part's not bad, but like what it
Yeah.
doesn't connect with BMW and the brand and the car. I guess they tried to, like, there's only one original or something like that. It just kind of a swing and miss in my opinion.
Okay. I just had to kind of recontextualize something for myself because as we're talking about all the Christopher Walken imitation kind of stuff, and I don't know if that goes back as far as Celebrity Jeopardy on Saturday Night Live, that sort of meme. But what was recurring in my head, and Tristan, you'll probably remember this. Do you remember? Well, I just looked it up. So 16 years ago, a YouTube video came out called Jagoff, or it's the one where the Do Your Best Jagger. Do you remember that?
Yes, yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
16 years ago. Do Your Best
Yeah.
Jagger. That sort of celebrity imitation meme. It's a fantastic video if you haven't seen it. Evan and Gareth Jagoff, Jagg. I mean, it's a very simple premise, right? It's just two friends who every time one of them says "Do your best Jagger" to the other, they have to dance like Mick Jagger, which is really funny because he can't dance even
At
the
all.
smallest bit. So it's a funny bit, it's a funny video, but that was 16 years ago. I didn't see that coming back. I didn't see celebrity impersonation being the hot commercial for a car, especially something like the 5 Series, which again, who's buying that? It's so ugly.
Yeah, it objectively that car is also hideous. So,
Great.
regardless
BMW
of the walk-in stuff and all the other celebrity impersonation bits, like a car looks terrible.
BMW is really trying to like power through this era of design that they're having, and it is so not working for me.
It's time to go. Try something else.
I just wish we knew more about who the names of people who design these cars, kind of as they move around the industry,
So
right?
that we can find them.
Yeah,
And
because
egg,
I
and
would
egg
love
their
to
houses.
see. Well, no, I would just love to see. What was it? It has to be a generation or two ago, right? You know what? I can look this up. I would like to see the progression of whatever design house or studio or lead designer who's kind of taking charge of some of these brands, and not just BMW because I hate it, but also um Nick, I know you're actually a huge opponent of the incoming Hyundai look, but I love it. I think it's sleek. I think it's Starship. You know, I just love it. Kia is another one. They look fantastic. Ford is another one. They look horrible. You know, it's like there's someone leading this as design language has kind of become the thing that brands do since Chris Bengal, and a name we do know, did it to BMW in the aughts, right?
Yep.
Something, the concept of designing your entire line to move in one direction kind of became the thing to do. And since then, that's what every brand does. And, you know, it's, who do we blame? Let's see, BMW. What was the one that they first came out? The 3 Series, right? Let me see what generation we were on when they really started to go down the tubes. So 2018-ish would have been when that happened.
So who was the designer, the lead designer back then?
I don't know. I'm just doing a quick Wikipedia sweep here.
That's the problem. There's no identity.
Oh, there we go. Alexei Kezha and Mark Michael.
Oh, that's too many first names.
His name is Mark Michael Markefla.
Oh, that's don't like that very much.
Nope.
Who are you?
Mark? Are you Mark or are you Michael? Markle.
They don't have Wikipedia pages. They don't exist. They're not real people. You know what?
It's all a front.
Designed by AI.
I say maybe these are all designed by generative AI.
Sorry, very exciting. So I searched Alexei Kezha, and there is an article from the preeminent BMW publication in the world, bmwblog.com, about but he explains the BMW 7 Series facelift.
Explain yourself.
There's a video. The new BMW 7 Series is one of the most drastic LCI programs we've had so far. The facelift allows them to achieve a better family connection to the rest of our luxurious lineup. So, tracing this back, the first BMW to come out with that horrible giant nostril look, and I do remember this now that's brought up here, was the X7.
Yes.
Yes, we discussed that at the time.
Yes, that's right. We sure did. Well, okay, so maybe we'll come back to this because we can probably find out some more information as long as it's listed. And just a reminder to every brand, please do not attempt to redesign your entire line off of your worst selling and ugliest SUV. That's not what you should do. That's a dumb idea. Actually, it's probably not the worst selling anymore, but
yeah,
still awful.
Not in America where we like big old SUVs.
Yuck. Well, okay. So you know what? We'll look into that a little more. We'll explore that avenue. How about that?
Yeah, let's circle back on that.
Speaking of big old SUVs, Nick.
Yes. I have one now.
I have one now.
Great. Moving on.
Yeah. Hey. So, any of you who are located near to where we record this fine podcast, well, not necessarily Andrew anymore, but near to where Tristan and I record this fine podcast in southeastern Wisconsin, and you're looking for a new vehicle, go talk to Dan Anderson at Lynch Chevrolet. He really good family friend of ours. He takes really good care of his customers. So yeah, I was actually talking to his older brother who is in our high school graduating class. That's where I met Dan. Was when I was hanging out with his older brother, he was annoying us a lot as kids. But Dan was one of those guys where like when I was catching up with Tom and like, oh, how's your brother doing? Oh yeah, he's working at a car dealership. He's selling cars. I'm like, yeah, that tracks. He was born to play, he was born to play that role. But honestly, he takes really good care of you. He and his group down there. So I was just talking to the Anderson boys and saying, yeah, we're gonna have to probably move on from the Focus and get a nicer SUV with the new family edition coming. And they're like, well, what are you looking for? And Claire and I were both really hot on a Volkswagen Atlas. And they're like, well, why didn't you ask us about it? And I'm like, because you work at Lynch Chevrolet, I'm pretty sure you don't have one,
Well,
And he's, well, that's exactly what he said. He's like, I can find one at auction for you.
sure.
So for real, like he was just texting me images. He's like, what about this one? What about this one? It's got this, this, and this. Here's the mileage. And he found us a really nice 2022 gunmetal gray SEV6 with a trailer hitch on it. Had like 40,000 miles, but I mean, super, super clean, one owner. And we went in, test drove it once, said, yep, this is it. Drew up the paperwork, and we, after 3 really good years, I was, obviously bittersweet to see the Focus leave the garage, but this couldn't be more timely because if there's anything lower to the ground than an SUV, Claire is basically not able to get in or out without tremendous amounts of help. So it was super timely. We both absolutely love it. It drives really smooth, super quiet. It's got the third row in it, so if Claire wants to be super aunt and take a whole bunch of nieces and nephews from her side of the family around with our new little bundle of joy when he or she arrives, and just kind of tote around a bunch of kids, absolutely able to do that.
That's right. I forgot you guys didn't find out. I can't imagine the anxiety.
Yeah, we're excited about it, man. But yeah, thanks to Dan at Lynch.
Just ignored your comment. Like, I can't imagine the anxiety. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Deep pressure. He might just see
like,
it as
we are
exciting for me.
excited to be surprised about it, is what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to get back to the car thing because we talked about the baby stuff a lot, and just trying to kind of put a bow on the Volkswagen. Tristan, you hosted so graciously for the Super Bowl, and we did the pizza run in it. So
We did.
from a passenger standpoint, any initial thoughts, your take on it?
Yeah, it's the seats are enormous.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not a small human, especially side to side, and like I felt like I was like in a big easy chair, which is that's what you're looking for in your luxury SUV. Basically, it's like I've had worse, and this is an argument I think my dad and I would make against anybody. Volkswagen Group has some of the best seats when you move into their upmarket vehicles. Some of their baseline, Jetta stuff and base Golfs, whatever, like not stellar, but like Volkswagen Group, so top line Volkswagens, Audis, some of the best seats, and that's I've had worse seats in a BMW X, whatever 537, and this is in a vehicle that is a nice SUV, but should be in a different tax bracket
Sure.
compared to those, and the seats are way better. I didn't get a chance to play with a lot of the tech, but it seemed to be pretty well equipped in that regard. Was trying to CarPlay to Claire's phone the whole time, even though it wasn't there. And yeah, astonishing amounts of room. Like, I went to go put the pizza in the back seat and went like, I could put it anywhere. The floor, the seat. Like, there's no. We had a for scale. We had a Pizza Hut Big New Yorker box, and it could have
Ooh,
gone. It could have gone on the seat or on the floor.
the big New
It was
Yorker.
that wide. So yeah, it was very spacious, very comfortable, really nice. The internal materials and colors, the colors especially, it was all kind of matching the outside gunmetal. So it was, dark, soft materials. It was very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. Claire is absolutely in love with it. I do really enjoy it. Um, you know, it does have the different drive modes, which you can just do by the turn of the dial. You don't. The transmission is not run through the dial. That's actually got a stick. But you can turn it to, like, Claire is really worried about winter driving, especially, like, we might not be out of the winter woods up here in Wisconsin when our baby's born. So, hey, just go 2 clicks over and you've got snow mode, and it's already all-wheel drive even before you click it into that, right? So, um, exactly what we're looking for. It's really, really good. I couldn't be happier. Andrew, you had asked, was there anything else in the running over
Yeah.
our WhatsApp chat? Um, we didn't drive anything else because we were both pretty well decided that the Atlas was going to be our thing. We did look at, in terms of like research, just online and stuff. We looked at Ford Explorers. Um, we did look at the Volvo XC series because I just love how they look. Volvos
Yeah.
are awesome right now, and just too expensive. Just like we could have maybe swung a used XC60, but that doesn't
Sure.
have the third row that Claire was looking for. So
Yep.
if we were to
Yep.
step up to the 90, there's just no chance in hell right now that we could afford any of that. So maybe one day when this podcast blows up, but
This is the year.
this is our year 7. Um,
Lucky number 7.
yeah. So yeah, all in all, again, thanks to Dan, everybody at Lynch Chevrolet for taking care of us. Awesome SUV, man. Uh, when you guys, Andrew, hopefully you and Meg and the little come up here soon, and we'll give you a test drive. We'll let you drive the N.
You're getting
We'll let
you're
you
getting a
ride in the
backlog,
VW.
a backlog of new houses to see and
I
visit.
absolutely am. And
Yeah,
one
there's a
thing
lot
we
of
love more than
newness
anything
going
else
on
is
right
looking at
now.
houses. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing we love more than anything else is looking at houses. So yeah, it's definitely on the list. So one thing, Nick, that I was thinking about as you kind of get rid of cars and stuff like that, I had always thought that second gen Focus ST was one of the very few sort of perfect cars I've ever driven, right? And that comes down to not only the practicality of the car, but like that car for me, shifter feel was just it was just perfect. Like you felt like you could flick it into any gear from any gear in any direction. Just a beautiful throw distance, not too long, not too short. I loved that shifter in that car so much.
Had to remind yourself to use the clutch pedal because it just felt so easy. Like, oh wait,
Yes,
I actually have to
absolutely.
push a third pedal here.
That was, I mean, there were a couple of times I almost bought one of those, but it was just like you described. It's always one of those things because they were so popular. It's like, there's never anyone who would work with you on the price. It's like just that little bit out. And yeah.
Yeah, not even just because Dan is a friend of ours. He was helping us out a little bit on the trade, but just because of the popularity,
Right.
he was like, yeah, this is no problem. I can turn around, I put new tires, new brakes on it, clean it up, sell it for a 2 or 3 grand markup in 48 hours. Like, it's no
True.
big deal,
Super
like
true.
it's well, you guys remember when car shows were still really popular, a thing, and we would go to the one in Chicago,
Yeah.
and like as soon as we went to the Ford booth, where would I go? Right to the Focus, either the RS or the ST.
The
And I was,
RS, I remember. Yeah, that
yeah,
was good.
RS. I couldn't swing an RS, obviously, but still,
I
just
sat in that orange ST, the orange
Oh
ST,
God, yeah.
and was playing with the knobless shifter. And
That's right. They took the knob off. I forgot.
yeah. So it was something that I wanted for a while. It was something that, hey, I had to do it before, stuff like being a dad comes around, and get it out of the way. And I was super happy I owned it. If ever a chance I could find one later on in life, if I ever have those type of means just to have it, like, I'll absolutely consider getting another one. Like, it was such a good car. I
Yeah,
love that car.
that's awesome. I mean, that's really how I feel about the R spec, the R spec Veloster. Even though it's
Sure.
like lower tier or whatever, that was when that car came out. I was like, oh man, I want to own one of those, and you get to
Mhm.
do it, and that's just such a special little moment. And I think I don't know. I kind of view owning, I don't know if dream car is the right word, but owning a car that you really love in in sort of a different way for our generation versus like our dads, right? And I think it's because cars are slightly more commoditized now. I don't think I'm ever going to regret giving away the Veloster, but like Nick described, if it ever was an opportunity or if I, wanted to become an amateur racer or whatever, there's no way I would buy anything other than a Veloster R-Spec just because that's the car that I would want to drive in that capacity. It's the only car I want to have to just screw around with if that's what it's going to be for, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, not having actually been able to drive one of the ones that's always been on my list with any of the TT family of cars.
sure.
But you know, if you kind of take that out of the running and assume like, oh, he'll have a terrible experience, that one doesn't really count. Just to get it off the table for the discussion, yeah, it's like of everything else, if I had the means at a third garage space, it was like, here's your weekend fun car. Very much like you, Andrew. Like I would not buy the STI. I'd buy the WRX
Yeah.
specifically. So it's same. I feel like, yeah, we have the ability to let go of them, but also like we do have favorite cars. People think that I think there's a lot of sentiment that like people our age don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, they just buy it for transportation, and it's like, or to look cool, and it's like, no. Sometimes we buy things that, you know, we genuinely love that car, but we're also able to give it up because we know there's a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when
And
it's, family oriented, but yeah.
well, and that's the, you know, kind of why taking this up a few levels, why we're even here doing something like this is because we're passionate about cars. And like the beauty of being passionate about cars is that it doesn't always have to be the Diablo that was on your bedroom poster. Like there are
Sometimes it's a turbocharged Outback.
sometimes it's a turbocharged Outback, sometimes it's a Veloster R. Like there are attainable fun cars that can evoke that same kind of feeling as looking at that poster on your wall when you were 8, 9, 10 years old. And it's just look at the three of us. It's not the same car for these three hosts here, but it's something that gets us into the culture, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
that's true.
So,
Uh,
speaking of culture, go ahead, Andrew. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Nick, since we're on the topic of your cars, now you've owned the N for how long?
Since
October,
October, so
something like that.
4-ish months,
Okay.
call it.
How's that going?
It's awesome. It's really
God damn it.
God
You
damn
didn't
it.
want to
it's
hear
awesome.
that.
I know you
No.
didn't want to hear it.
No.
I mean, there's been some little niggling things that we've kind of found in it. So it's a weird one. Like I've never had this happen before, but the passenger side, the front passenger seatbelt broke. The spring return broke.
Oh,
So we had to take. Obviously, it was covered and all that stuff, but we had to.
yeah.
The dealer had to order another one. We had to take that in.
That's weird.
Get replaced. Before that, the weather seal on the door on the driver's side had like a little nubbin like sticking out.
Huh.
Like it wasn't like pressed into the channel all the way and like we
Sure.
couldn't get it. So the dealer ordered that and like we switched vehicles because Claire works really close and could take the car in for the scheduled appointment. She takes it in, comes back, says, "Yeah, it's done." It was in there for like 2 hours. They had to take the entire door off and all this stuff. I'm like,
Oh
that
my
seems
God.
weird. They shouldn't have had to do that. So I come home and I open the driver's side door and it looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, so did they even do anything? So I called them back and they're like, oh, we put a window seal in. So we had to take the door off to get the so they had to order another one.
They got the
And
window
then
side.
so they did just put that in with the seatbelt, the new seatbelt on the
Yeah.
passenger side this week. So other than that, like little weird kind of stuff, like the car itself is so much fun.
God damn.
It gets incredibly good gas mileage for being what it is. Like you could just like I put it in eco mode going to work. If I'm frustrated at the end of the day, I'll put it in sport mode coming
My guess
home.
is what, probably
But
24, 26, somewhere in there.
going to work,
Yeah.
30.
24 MP. What? Oh, right. You drive more on the
Yeah, it's freeway stuff
on the
for
freeway.
me.
Yeah.
It's freeway stuff for me.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of traffic in the morning, so it's a lot of coasting. But yeah, channeling my best inner Scott Dixon. But um, 30 miles per gallon for a car that just looks so striking.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Damn it.
like you see the line of like silver and gray and black and white and beige and maroon cars in the parking
Crossovers.
structure.
Crossovers.
Mostly
Right, yeah,
crossovers and small
exactly.
SUVs. And then sometimes some guys have the bigger pickup trucks, so you have your GMCs or your Rams or whatever, and then like boom, there's this competition blue, or for all you North Carolina fans, Carolina blue, with the super aggressive headlights and the big black grill on the front, and it's just, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's the one I'm walking to throw my backpack in, you know?
I will say that as well. Now, we've had some months, and we need to do another one of these since we looked over the history of the compact sedan and picked the best looking cars out of all of those. Even with the RS7, I think that we truly made the correct choice. I really do think the Elantra N is the best looking compact sedan of all time. I firmly believe that in my heart. Or RS5.
I'm biased now because I've owned it, but yeah.
It's just so good because I've seen a lot of the cars that were on that list since then, right? The everything we talked about, Mercedes Benz, and even the wasn't RS7 was the, or RS5 was the S5. Just a bunch of stuff that I've seen. It's like, yeah, we really made the right call there. I firmly believe that. And the bummer for me is I love the looks of the new Elantra N even more than the old one. God, I want one so bad, but they're like 36 now, which isn't even still not a horrible deal, but
Give it a year, you'll get a used one for 40.
I know. I know. Right, 36 if you got anyone on a damn lot selling it for what it's actually worth.
Yeah.
Well, if it is. Very fraught. I don't even want to go to the lot, to be honest.
Yeah. It's car dealer, like going to the lot was I guess the Volkswagen was an easier one because I knew the salesperson and they took good care of us, but don't like going to dealerships, man. I just don't like going to that.
Like, and
The
we're
dealership.
car people. We should be like kind of pre-wired to be willing to go through more to get a car that we want,
True.
and we still hate it.
Because it's gotten so much
It
worse
says a lot. Yeah.
than it ever used to be. There's also another issue here. So now we've lived in Nebraska for about a year and a half, coming up on that. And man, I have to say this, and I have to make this so clear to everyone who might ever hear this. There is not a Nebraska-born driver who should be allowed to have a fucking driver's license. I just need you all to know you suck so much at driving. You are all absolutely terrible. There's not a one amongst you that deserves to be on the road every day. So to make this clear, I didn't necessarily notice in the summer because I bike to work when the weather's nice. But in the winter and just kind of driving a little bit through the spring now, my commute is 4 miles. Every day, I see at least one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen on the road happen. Not on main roads, on a back road that just literally goes from my door to the door of the office. Someone is doing some idiot shit every fucking day. I don't understand how collectively a group of people can all be so far below the minimum standard. Like what, Nick? You gotta look.
Sorry, I on my other screen here, I've got the live stream of the 12 hours of Bathurst on, and a BMW just climbed up almost over the concrete barrier.
Nice. Fabulous.
Nice. Perfect.
If it's even possible, the car is now uglier.
Rip.
Nice.
So anyway, sorry, continue, Andrew.
No, it's just saying, so I'm just trying to think of some examples of things that I kind of have to deal with here. One that I see commonly, and I maybe it's just because my dad pointed out to me as something that he's seen, but I see this all the time. So someone's at a light there, whether it's let's just say it's a intersection with one left-hand turn lane, a right-hand turn lane, and a straight-through lane.
Okay.
I've now seen this multiple times. Someone's car will stall at the right, the point where you're going to make the right-hand turn. But instead of doing anything that could possibly have a chance to help, what they do is get out, open the doors, leave the fucking doors open, stand there like an idiot until someone they know comes and pulls their car either across the through lanes, going the other direction, going like the east-west direction, if you're
Yeah.
going, from the south to the north, or their friend will come and pull in front of them in the fucking right-hand turn lane facing their car.
Oh.
To clarify, in no capacity is this an acceptable activity for you to undertake, even if you have the brutal misfortune of your car shutting off while you're about to make a right-hand turn. You have to be so stupid to attempt to rescue someone in such a dumb way. And that shit happens constantly. And they do the left-hand turn lane, do the right-hand turn lane. There's this unbelievable level of rank cowardice in Nebraska drivers that makes them do all of the dumbest things all of the time. And I can't begin to express how frustrating I find it, simply because, like I said, there's no reason for such a large body of people to be so bad at doing something so simple. And again, driving is pretty straightforward, but the amount of things that they regularly screw up, and it's everything, right? It's not signaling when changing lanes, is not knowing what the speed limit is, going too slow, not signaling when you're about to turn out of a lane, not knowing how to use suicide lanes, not knowing how to use roundabouts, thinking that what you have to do in a roundabout is stop when you're in the center lane of, the circular lane of travel, and try to wave people through. Nope, we're not doing that. That's not going to happen. And the number one thing I experience literally every single day, and I've never experienced it to this level. It must be everyone else in the city except for me and my wife and probably my dad. Light turns green. They go. Okay. All right. So now I'm literally at the point where if your brakes aren't off 2 seconds after the light goes, I'm already on the horn, because that's how regular it is. And so not just in, straightforward traffic, right? In like a left-hand turn, we know the lights here for turns are very, very short. And they have a ton of right-hand turns that are no right turn on red. So you got to be paying attention when you're going to turn. Nope. Excuse me. So on main roads that are, like main intersections to main intersections, the left-hand turn light will still be 10 seconds at most, right? Before it goes yellow. They're still waiting 10 out of 10 seconds to make a left-hand turn, the car in the lead. I don't even know how you do that. I don't know how.
Do you think it's a distraction thing? Like people are looking at their phones or like doing something on their dash? Or is it just like the pace of Nebraska where people are like, I got all day.
I think that they would say it's the second thing. I think it's a mixture of idiocy and the shocking amount of people I see. And again, this is another thing I just started picking up on. The truly shocking number of people I see doing dumb shit in their car who are eating out of a bag. I presumably they just went through a drive-through or something. Maybe it's chips. I don't fucking know. So many of them are eating in the car, which, by the way, is also spectacularly easy. I've eaten everything in the car. I've eaten soup in a car, a runny egg sandwich. Like, there's nothing that's hard to eat in a car.
What was your dad trying to eat though that one time?
Oh God, what was he trying to eat? Something completely. I think it might have been a bowl of cereal.
Ribs.
Yeah.
Or
Oh no, it was ribs. That's what it was. It was fucking ribs.
Yeah.
It was ribs. Oh my God. That was pretty funny, actually. Yeah, no, it absolutely was ribs. But goddamn, can you literally not? Can you actually not do that? Any of what you're doing, could you please stop doing it and just make an attempt to be better?
So
Oh
I
man.
think there's an opportunity here, guys. And I say this as someone who's not living there, so all of the actual work from this idea would have to be done by Andrew.
No, you can't kill everyone. I thought of that already.
No.
Oh,
No.
my fault.
My
No, you
head
can't
is
do that.
my brain doesn't go that dark that fast.
I'm
But
sorry.
investigative journalism, you should go see did you have to do any sort of like retake a test or do anything to get a Nebraska license? You should go through like their
No, I didn't.
driver education program and just see what it's like.
I mean, maybe that's what you got to do, because I think their driver education must be pretty subpar, just based on. I mean, there's this other weird thing
So go
that
see
so
for
many
yourself,
people
man.
do here. Well, because I don't understand this. All right, there's this other really strange thing that I see all the time here, and it's that a shocking number of cars have, whether they're serious or not, driver in training placards on them, and I don't know whether that's legitimate or whether people here still think that's kind of funny. Oh man, it's so many, and I think they just have really bad driver's ed. That's the only thing I can think of, right?
Right, that would be my assumption too, but seeing as we have a man on the ground in Nebraska.
Well, I mean, my daughter will be taking driver's ed in a number of years, but
Say in season 17, we'll find out.
yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to do about it anymore. That clearly one man and one horn is not making that much of an impact.
One man and his horn.
Exactly.
doing God's work.
Say doing the
makes me
Lord's
so
work on
angry.
the streets of Nebraska.
It makes me so mad. I'm sure you guys would love it.
Well, Tristan, you were there. I mean,
I did. I experienced
Well,
this
did you
secondhand.
yeah, I was
I
gonna
was
say,
not driving for most of it, but
was it as? I mean, you have obviously limited, just a few days of experience up there, but was it as egregious as?
the one thing that sticks out is absolutely the stoplight timing. I've never waited so long at a transitioned from red to green light. Like it wasn't green when I got there; it was red,
Right.
and then you just sit. Like I have never experienced. I will say that one I can back or never experienced elsewhere. That one I can back you up on, Andrew. Like that is unreal. Like it's enough time to sit in the driver's seat, turn to your spouse in the passenger seat, and go, "Are they gonna go?" And have them go, "I don't know," and then it goes.
Yeah.
Like it's just unreal.
And like you said, Nick, it actually does in some ways remind me of that sort of transition era before cell phone laws became actually enforced.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But that was still like T9 word mode, right? And we didn't have smartphones like we have today back then, so it could be that translation. Maybe everyone's just on the phone. Another thing that I see here that just makes me want to jump off a cliff. People in
Tough to
newer
find
cars,
a cliff in Nebraska, though.
you'd think that until you go west. But yeah, so there's so many people driving newer cars of all sizes and price points and whatever else. You see it in people brand new Volvos and BMWs or new Corollas, cars that very, very obviously support not only Bluetooth but CarPlay and Android Auto and the whole shebang. Brand new cars talking to their phone like it's a fucking hamburger.
And the bottom, which is not even where the microphones
Not
are.
even where the
By the way,
not even where
public
the
service announcement: if you're talking into your phone like you're holding a piece of pizza or a hamburger, that's not where the microphones are. They're at the top, up by the FaceTime / front-facing camera on
Correct.
most phones. So just talk to it there. Don't look even stupider.
Oh man, I just don't even know what to do. I don't know what to do about it. Everyone is wrong. I mean, everyone else is wrong, and I'm right, and I'm the only one who knows.
I mean, there's very few times where I agree with you on that, but this may actually be one of them. So
That's what we'll do. Well, you guys can come down here for a driver vacation and become very angry at the traffic flow. To say nothing of the we won't even do the infrastructure rant today, but wow, has this city screwed itself by thinking that it's a farming community that now has like 350,000 people living there.
just a small farm town.
Still, we're just a small farm town.
So we live basically out on the far northwest edge of the city, right? You go half a mile and you're in gravel roads, right? We're right at the edge. One day I decided to bike to basically the other end of town. So city campus is pretty much diametrically opposed. It goes all the way down to 9th, I think, is the edge of city campus. So there's really not much, and you're just at rail yard at that point when you're at the edge of city campus. I normally bike what I thought was about halfway about the city to get to work, and not that big a deal. Get on my bike, get to the edge of city campus. Like, oh, that was pretty quick. Check my watch, and it's like the same distance and time it takes me to get to work because I have to kind of double back and cut through. It's only half hour by bike. This is not an extraordinarily large city. It's not the biggest city in the world. It just happened to be, it's a city. There's a good amount of people there, and yet it takes you 30 minutes to go north to south. And it's like, have you not thought about maybe an interstate or some bypass action? And I don't know.
Give me that hot bypass action.
That's
Sounds like a heart condition.
It is. It very much is, because
it could be if you don't put one in.
It's going to give him one anyway. So.
Give me that. Oh, enough. I just want everyone in Nebraska to know that I know that you suck at driving.
It doesn't go unnoticed. He sees you.
I'm making notes, and I'm going to start writing down license plates. I'm going to mail you rude letters.
Rude letters.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. That'll be my breaking point. When I start mailing letters to people, you're going to see me. I'm just going to have a stack of envelopes and a wax seal with a stop sign. Oh, that would be so sick.
That'd be awesome.
I should do that.
We should totally do that. You feel better now? You got that off your chest?
No, now I'm just mad because I had
now
to
he's
think
worse.
About it. Yeah, now I'm.
Well, then why did we spend the last 12 minutes doing that?
Because you need to know, okay, that
okay,
that
listen,
that problems are occurring, and no one's helping me at all.
He's all alone.
That's
him versus all the native Nebraskans.
Who are bad at driving. So here's something that occurred to me the other day. Because I've kind of been so far out of what's happening on car Twitter or wherever, do you guys think you have a solid grasp on new cars from the past year? I don't think I do. I kind of think I don't know what's out there anymore.
Yeah, I would say I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm not batting 1,000.
I get surprised.
Yeah.
By that new Toyota.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, perfect example. Yes, exactly that. Yeah.
That was a surprise.
Maybe that was a surprise drop.
Yeah.
As the kids say nowadays.
Yeah.
So why do you ask?
Well, because I think maybe that's something we should kind of tackle for next week or our next episode. I think maybe it might be time to actually stop and look through the cars what exist, and we can kind of refresh ourselves on both sort of the common stuff, Toyota, Ford, Hyundai, whoever, and then sort of the new hotness stuff coming from. That's where I'm really kind of gone. Ferrari, Toyota, Porsche. I don't know what they're doing over there anymore.
I can't tell if Porsche does anything new because, as beautiful as they are, they pretty much all look the same.
Well, the new Taycan is faster.
By
okay.
what %?
I don't know, but I saw that on a commercial.
Okay.
That was the commercial?
Basically, it was faster in real life moving matter speed, and also it's faster to charge.
Real life moving matter speed.
Yeah, like A to B versus 0 to 100% on the battery. But that's also faster. It's faster in 2 ways.
Okay, no, I
Mm.
thought I was dead sure you were not saying anything. Like when I repeated that back to you, my brain was off. I might as well have been in a coma.
I hurt his brain.
No, but yeah, okay, that actually does make sense.
Moving
Yeah, that's
matter versus moving electrons.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah, so that was my thinking. Maybe we should kind of take a moment to, I don't know whether we do it sort of live on the podcast or just look through some car brands and kind of grab some takeaways and talk about it. But I think we should probably do that because I really feel like I am
Do a new
completely
car
out of the loop.
roundup.
Yeah,
new car roundup sounds like a good idea.
All right, cool.
Temporarily, just while we're on the topic of electric cars, it's entirely random. It's breaking the flow. I know, but
That's what we do here. That's okay.
I found out something that maybe you guys know, and you're just like, yeah, duh, um, or maybe you also find it as interesting and surprising as I do, or
Hmm.
maybe only the second one, or neither. I don't know. Electric vehicle high speed fast charge cables, like Tesla superchargers, all the super fast level task force black chargers that Porsche is using, whatever, they push electricity so fast that they would melt the copper in the cables, but
What do you mean?
But they're circulating coolant.
That's interesting.
So they have coolant in the cable so they don't melt themselves, is what you're saying.
Yeah, which is why you'll see like obvious electrical infrastructure around them, but you'll see like big fans and stuff because like they look like air conditioning units
Yeah,
because
they
they're
do.
actually like dispersing all the heat from the coolant that's in the charging cable.
Interesting.
And I was like,
Whoa.
I had no idea. I thought they were big, chunky cables because they had to push that down to electricity.
Me too.
But there's actually like a fluid core. I can't remember which way. I had to look at the diagram. I actually saw a diagram of it. It's either a fluid core or the fluid is around the outside cooling the copper core. But it was just, I was like, wow, that's the first thing that my mind said was like, it's a lot of wasted energy.
Hey,
Yeah,
go green.
Yeah, but I was like, huh, interesting. And Anchor, the everyone's favorite, computer and mobile device and peripheral charging company, makes an electric car charger.
Oh, really?
It's like a level 2, plugs into the same outlet that like you'd plug your dryer into, and it's portable. Like there's no wall box. It's all just a cable.
That sounds
And I'm like,
scary.
it's scary, but it's got great reviews. Apparently, I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
yeah,
That kind of sounds, yeah, scary to me.
but yeah, but that I don't think has coolant in it. So
Interesting.
yeah, I was like, they cool these. Okay, that makes a weird amount of sense, and I never thought about it before. So
Huh.
Well, all right.
Yeah, I never thought of it.
yeah,
But it does seem like there could possibly be a better way. Interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've got a couple topics to hit before we wrap up this episode. This one is kind of based on a rumor, and there's so much racing going on. Well, there's one big one that I'm watching on the other screen going on right now, and then my mom's in Daytona, so it's raining. So maybe not NASCAR's season kickoff. Point is, too much potential racing going on for me to like dedicate the time to watch it. But the new Grand Tour special came out this week.
Oh, I haven't seen it
yes,
yet. Yeah.
I have not seen it yet.
Neither have I. But bigger than just, hey, they have a new special is there was at least I saw articles and stories in the few weeks leading up to it that this was their last one.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. They're getting up there.
Well, you know, we earlier we were talking about car culture and the fact that, folks our age actually do appreciate cars largely because of those three.
Yeah, super true.
So if this obviously Top Gear with what happened to not Chris Harris who hates us, but the other host with his accident, and they haven't filmed in like a year and a half, and they don't know if they're ever going to film Top Gear again. And now the original Top Gear host saying that this might be the last grand tour, like legitimate to say that if that is actually true, that end of an era of cool car entertainment as we know it, and that sucks.
Yeah, man. Just to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, there was, without knowing any of that, it's been in 2004 was Jeremy Clarkson's first book came out. I don't think a lot of people know that he wrote books, but they all have books, May and Hammond and Clarkson.
Mhm.
And I just kind of think I kind of feel like you feel, Nick, that there's something changing, and the the death of the sort of original Top Gear, I think, was really the sea change in the way this coverage, in the way car coverage became popular, because Grand Tour was never going to be Top Gear.
Mm-mm.
New Top Gear was never going to be old Top Gear.
Correct.
And sort of whether or not anyone else wanted to hear it at the time, oh, we love the new house, we love the American Top Gear. No, you don't. But okay. That mode, or that specific entertainment, or whatever you want to call it, that aspect of the culture had already disappeared. That, it was already dying the death, and it's just that, some people wanted to hold on that it could be the same. It just never would be. There's something spectacularly unapproachable about the original Top Gear, because, well, I think, we talk about this a lot, but because of the authenticity and because of the relatability of Clarkson, Hammond, and May, they aren't necessarily a group you would put together on the surface, but sort of in a similar way to, sort of the chemistry that you see on The Simpsons. They genuinely care about each other, and they genuinely care about the topic.
Yes.
And it just doesn't work with other people, because it can't ever work the same way. And the mistake is attempting to do it again.
Yeah, I think that's something that one interjection, but also it is the penultimate episode. There is one more special after this one.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes you
we
feel a
don't need
little
to-
better, but still,
right,
the fact that
right.
there's an
It's you
end.
can still see the end. Yeah.
Oh, for
So
sure.
we don't need to write the eulogy yet, but we know it's coming. And yes, I think that, it's not impossible that something could have the same kind of success. It's like you said, Andrew. It's dependent on the chemistry of those that are involved, and you can't force that.
Mhm.
And and I will be the first to say, like, we're certainly not going to be the one to replace them, but it's stuff that comes together like this.
Yeah.
It's like it's people who just decide, hey, we want to do this, and it takes off. And yes, they had the backing of the BBC, and they cast people and looked for people, but like, as you, to feed the example, who remembers Top Gear season 1?
Right.
Nobody, because they
Absolutely
didn't
no one.
have everybody yet. So, like, once they had all three of them, that's when it took off, and that's when it worked. It was not the format of the show that changed. It was not what they were talking about. It was the people, and that's what made the difference.
Yeah, you could. Andrew, you're absolutely right in saying Grand Tour is never going to be Top Gear. New hosts Top Gear is never going to touch the original Top Gear. It does not matter what the name of the show is or what the format is. You get Hammond, May, Clarkson around cars in any capacity, and it's gold. Just for whatever reason, it's the chemistry between them. Call it what you want, but it's gold. I will say the most recent iteration of Top Gear with Harris. I remember Freddie Flintoff, who was the guy who just got hurt not too long ago in an accident while they were filming, and I can't remember the third guy's name. It was not bad. It really wasn't. It
Right.
was not original in any respect, but it was way better than the American version. It was
Sure.
way better than the American version, who just threw 3 people together and tried to force it, who all individually on their own, no problem with them. They just didn't work as a group, you know?
One of those guys. I always forget his name. Is one of those guys I think is like the most genuinely unlikable man on the face of the planet.
Adam Carolla,
No,
Rutledge Wood.
that's the one. The guy who hosts the swimming pool show on Netflix.
Those are the only 2 I remember.
I truly find him repulsive.
And then they had Tanner Faust, also the rally driver.
Yeah.
/ stunt driver, yeah. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm feeling somber about it. That
For sure.
Even, you know, and who's gonna be next? Like, who's gonna keep that going? Because if you think, even on the other side of it, if you go to like the influencer side, I can't believe it's been a year already since Ken Block is gone. He was that
Yeah.
other big pillar of that. You had like
That's
Top
true.
Gear in terms of like motoring show, and then you had Ken Block in terms of, influencer YouTube videos, leveraging the internet, social media, and hitting that crowd.
Is it going to be Whistling Diesel?
Yeah, who is it going to be? Like, it's like Tristan. Maybe it could be us, but that's a really long shot.
No, I don't pretend to be. It was more just a differing scale, but same kind of thing. It's a chemistry thing. That's all that meant to say. So
yeah, let The Rock do it.
Oh God.
The Rock and Kevin Hart make a car show.
I'm all good on that. I'm definitely
the 2 guys, the 2 guys from Scrubs.
Yeah,
I'll throw in Jack Black. Unironically, the 2 guys from Scrubs actually do.
I would watch that actually,
but
I'd give it a try.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. This really makes me think about how I don't know if it's the consumption or if it's the popularity or the formulation of what people enjoy related to car culture has changed so much from Top Gear to, I mean, what is it now? Is it YouTube stuff? Is it basically vlogs, right? Things like people with their cell phones filming illicit car meetups in California, or things like regular car reviews, which is somehow still around. I didn't realize people were still watching that, and that's my fault. But it's super popular channel. I just think the format has changed, and while it was pioneered by Top Gear, I think there's something about the personal feel of YouTube that has sort of changed, and there are a lot of moments in Top Gear. I'm thinking of the V12 Vantage review, and even May with the redone Civic review, and there are moments where there are very personal connections to the story that they're telling as part of their review or their challenge or whatever it is in Top Gear. But the thought or the sort of theory behind YouTube is that every video creator makes is sort of a personal thing, because that's how it feels. You're in a room alone by yourself consuming the content, and it feels like they're addressing you. So I think there's something about the personal directness of YouTube that has kind of overtaken a traditional car show. Top Gear was not a traditional car show, right? Until it became the traditional car show.
The standard, yes.
Right. And I think maybe we're just away from that, either because it could never be replicated or because there's just something else now. I don't know what it is, right?
To be determined.
Yeah.
But if they've got 2 more, like you said, Tristan, let's just enjoy those. So, and just
we'll worry
live in
about that after Zimbabwe.
Yeah, worry about that later.
Right.
That's the next one.
Okay. Because this one was the Sahara, right?
Yeah, the sand job.
That's great.
Of course. The last topic I wanted to hit, I don't think it would be a season opening episode of that touching on motorsports just a little bit.
Sure.
And I want to say, let's just skip the 2024 F1 season entirely. Max Verstappen wins. Got it.
Cool.
And bring on 2025 when Lewis Hamilton, for the first time in his professional life, will not be racing a car with a Mercedes engine in it. Jumping from Mercedes to Ferrari, making the announcement before the 2024 season.
Right.
Crazy. Crazy. What does he know? What did the folks at Ferrari let slip under the table? You know, what data did they let him look at? What curtain did they peel back where he was willing to walk away from the team that essentially, 6 of his 7 world championships and 90-ish of his 103 wins? Like,
yeah, man.
what the hell?
I just don't know. I mean, yeah, Hamilton was done with Mercedes, right? We know that. I don't know. It's weird. It's a really weird thing to think about, honestly. But what else was going to happen?
He retires.
No.
You know, like he retires from Mercedes. Like he's won everything. Like he's gotten like, unless it's in his head, like I still need to get one more championship to beat Schumacher.
That's exactly what he wants.
But-
That's exactly what he wants.
But unless he goes to Red Bull, I don't think he's going to do it.
Well, it's funny.
And he's not going to go to Red Bull. The Red Bull can't afford to pay him and Max.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I saw, as I was looking around just for auto news stuff, I saw some, I'm sure it's just a rumor mill ass post about someone asking Max if he is going to go to Ferrari.
Really?
His response was, you know, I'm paraphrasing here. His response was, well, no, I'm at Red Bull now, but I would never say no to an opportunity.
Yeah, he's also locked in at Red Bull until 2029.
I know. I know.
Like we got another 5 years of this.
It's totally ridiculous, but you know that probably because of the Hamilton thing, now people are kind of going through and trying to figure out what the next move will be. If I had to guess, right?
Yeah. So you got Hamilton going to Ferrari, which leaves an opening at Mercedes, which, while not Red Bull, still one of the top big teams. Is it just a swap? Does Carlos Sainz just leave Ferrari and go to Mercedes?
That wouldn't surprise me. I
there are
guess.
some-
Well,
there-
you know,
there
I
are
guess
some
we
ru-
might be finding out whether or not Mercedes really is a top team.
Yeah, we'll see. There are some rumors that I've heard already that the ageless wonder Fernando Alonso might be in the running. He might want to jump ship from Aston Martin, who uses Mercedes engines right now,
Right.
and jump over to the mothership and run at the Mercedes factory team.
That might be interesting.
I would love to see him in that car. I think that would be really cool. But man, how crazy excited do the Italian fans have to be?
Right. True.
Like, hey, I think we have a man on the ground in Italy. Our Italian correspondent is there, and Giuseppe Ferrari's got a new team principal. They just locked up Charles Leclerc for another few years, and now they signed Hamilton. What's the feeling on the ground in Italy right now? Like, forget 24, but 2025 and beyond. What do the Italian fans feel like the performance of their beloved red cars are going to be?
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Yeah. So they don't know. Yeah, it's remains to be seen. You know, could go either way.
Nice.
We're gonna have to get through 2024 first.
That's true. We do. Yeah. I don't know. It's weirdly expected to me because what the hell else was going to happen? He wasn't going to stay there. Hamilton wasn't going to stay at Mercedes and just keep coming in third.
Just keep being mad forever.
Yeah, exactly. Ferrari's an interesting choice, and because Ferrari's just kind of there. Like you said, Nick, I am not gonna even make an attempt to hype myself up for this season of F1. I can't imagine there's a point. Can't imagine there's even remotely a purpose. It's a fait accompli. We can be done.
Yeah, we can be done with F1. This will be the only time we talk about F1 on this.
Basically,
podcast
unless
this
something actually starts happening. But what?
So those are all proven very wrong.
I mean, the season starts in 2 weeks, so we'll see what happens. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. One other thing, you said, Andrew, Ferrari's just kind of there. They do have this habit of signing former world champions. If you remember, Sebastian Vettel won 4 in a row with Red Bull, or 3. I can't remember how many
I
he's
think it
got.
was 4.
And then he went to Ferrari.
Mhm.
Fernando Alonso, even before that, had won 2 with Renault. Had a shitty stint at McLaren. Kind of jumped around, and then he landed at Ferrari. They sign championship caliber drivers, but they have yet to win a championship.
Right,
with
and
one
then
of them.
don't win with them.
And they just don't win with them. So we'll see. Everyone thought Hamilton was crazy for going to Mercedes when he did, and look what
That's
happened there. So if people are questioning this Ferrari move, again, maybe he just knows something that we don't. But he's got to. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So, anybody else have anything else for our first 2024 episode?
Not me. Tristan?
Nope, not for me.
All right, good talk. So that's a sign that we should probably wrap this one up. We do have social media. If you want to interact with us in between episodes, we should probably list those out. We are on Facebook. Look up Check Engine Podcast. I guess we're on new Twitter, Andrew. But
yeah, Check Engine Pod. Yeah, we are. If you want to tweet us there for some reason,
if you feel the need to do it, go ahead.
Andrew's got to be there for work, so
Yeah, he's all right. So he's
this job anyway.
Yeah, he's scoping it out. We're also on Threads at Check Engine Pod. Tristan, what about Instagram?
Also at Check Engine Pod, same account.
Yeah, Threads was supposed to be the next thing. That really fell off.
Yeah, well, we're going down with that ship. We're there too. So, and then who wants to try to run through the Mastodon handle?
I don't have it written down.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm looking at it, so I'll do it.
Yeah, okay, all right. Go ahead.
At Check Engine Podcast at mastodon.social.
That's it. That's the one.
I didn't know if it was .social or .online, so
It might be .online now, but I still have .social written for the past year, so we'll see.
I'm on .online. That's why.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go.
All right, that clears that up. But anyway, folks, be sure to like, share, follow, post, DM, reach out how and when you can. You can ask us questions to answer on the show. Let us know what you like or dislike about what we talk about. Give us topic ideas, all that good stuff. Thank you in advance. And thank you so much for listening. We don't want just to listen, as I mentioned. We want to interact with you. We'd also like you to, leave a review if you'd be so kind on one of those, 3 remaining podcasting platforms. Apparently that's out there. Preferably a good review, 4 or 5 stars. Help us in the old algo, and or hit that subscribe button. It's free, doesn't cost you a thing, and you'll just get notified of any new content that we put out should you be interested in that. If you're really interested in what we're doing or really into this and want to support us monetarily, you have 2 options for that. You can go to patreon.com/checkenginepodcast or go to Spotify for podcasters, find our page, Spotify for podcasters /Check Engine Podcast, and hit the support button there. Every cent pledged is put toward making this a better experience for you, and none of it goes back into our own personal greedy little pockets. So thank you in advance if you choose to do that. Who or what are we thanking or shouting out before we leave?
Let's see. I think I think a good one would be all the drivers in Nebraska.
For
I think
giving us 12 minutes of content.
that's right. No, I mean, you guys. I think I'll thank you, Tristan, and you, Nick, for giving us the break and letting us kind of live our own lives while always coming back to do this. So thanks to both of you.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, like Nick, you normally do our listener thinking, but I'm gonna do it early because, in the same vein, you know, we had to take a break. We had to do our own life stuff, um, and every day though, we're getting likes on the Facebook posts. We're getting like finally we're whenever we post stuff, etc. Um, and we're getting content interacted with, and it seems like you're eager for more. So we appreciate that. Thank you for sticking with us. The fact that we have to keep saying thank you for sticking with us, we'd like to change, but it bears repeating. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to say thanks to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is really
Ooh,
cool.
Wi-Fi.
Not only does it allow us to record this, but at the same time, I'm watching a really badass race from Australia through YouTube, live and in person. Well, not in person, but live. So thanks to Wi-Fi for being incredible and allowing me to do that. And as Tristan said, thank you, listeners, for your continued support. We love hearing from you. We love recording this for you. And we can't wait to do it again. So until we do, take care.